welcome to Kickoff Conversations. My name's Ray.
And I'm Jake, baby.
We are back for episode 4, week 4. Man, some good stuff happened last week. Some bad stuff happened in college. But hey, we got the Chiefs 3-0. And what do you think about that game? I thought it was good. It was good to see them persevere. Mahomes and Kelsey still a little off balance, but they look better.
Yeah, I'm personally not one who is worrying about them. I think they're trying to do some things, trying to figure some things out on the offensive side of the football. I think Hollywood Brown being out is a bigger deal than people realize. I think they were scheming some things up for Rashee Rice, Hollywood, Xavier Worthy to be on the field at the same time. Obviously, that's not going to happen for a majority of the year. But I'm personally not panicking that Travis is off to a slow start. Last week he had one play in particular where he started to look like himself again. He ran about a 15-yard over across the field.
Stopped right in the middle of the zone, probably.
No, this was one where he was running full speed here. He looked like himself on that play in particular. That's the first route I've seen him run like that this year. So when I saw him do that, essentially, I felt better. He's still not there yet. I think he's out of shape, and I think he's playing himself into shape. So no, I'm not super worried about Travis Kelce.
He's traveling around the world all weekend, every weekend. Even on game weeks, he had that. Well, no, it was the Thursday night game. He was out in the U.S. Open on Sunday. Yeah, maybe he's just tired. He does look a little bigger, a little thicker. Maybe he's eating a lot more sodium. His face is a little bit fatter.
He's also about to be 35. So
yeah, that's true. So is Noah Gray going to be good enough to be the backup? Or is he going to be the next guy?
No.
Probably won't ever be
He's not the next guy.
Kelsey.
He did just sign a 3-year, $18 million extension a couple weeks ago. But no, I don't necessarily think he's like there to replace Kelsey. But I do think he is above average 2 backup tight end in the NFL.
Now, Patrick, we're 3 games in. 3, in my opinion, bad interceptions. 3 of them. The first game, well, I think the first 2 games, he missed a linebacker right over the middle. I don't know if it was he couldn't see him from the angle of a fan. Obviously, we think you can see him. But this is just very uncharacteristic. And then this last one, was this to the end zone on the right side of the field, first half, I think?
Yep. There was pressure kind of coming at his legs, and he kind of just flipped a ball into the right corner to Noah Gray, and it was picked. I'm personally not worried about it. The reason being is I think as this team has had playoff success, I think they're not as worried about what happens especially early September. These last 2 years straight, they've played 20 games a year. That's a lot of games. That's a lot of wear and tear. That's a lot to put your mind through, basically to be mentally prepared and locked in for each game. So I think as they continue to do this and they realize, hey, I can't be 100% every single game, like mentally. I think it's just a lack of focus, and I'm personally not worried about it. I think when he locks it in, he's proven to be the best player on earth, and I still think he's the best player on earth. These interceptions don't bother me.
This is kind of interesting to see because, a lot of Chiefs fans are talking down maybe a little bit. They're being a fan. They're bringing their fan mentality, which we all are, but some are a little bit more realistic than others. They're 3-0, all tight games, a little bit of adversity. We got a little younger wide receiving core with Rashee Rice and Worthy. But, man, Rashee Rice has exploded.
Leads the league in receptions, second in yards. He is
2 touchdowns.
Who the offense, when Travis is gone, even now, he is basically who the offense is running through. A lot of the routes that Travis has ran in the past, when Travis was a little bit quicker, more nimble, Rashee is now running those right routes, the little whip routes, the sitting down in zone, which Rashee has learned a ton from Travis, it looks like, because he's starting to figure out, hey, I don't need to run this route to the exact spot. I just need to find the soft spot in the zone, which it seems like he's doing a really, really good job of that. And also, I was impressed with Carson Steele. Okay. He got his first start. It wasn't anything crazy. He didn't blow the top off or anything, but 17 carries, 72 yards for a rookie debut for someone who is undrafted.
Yeah.
I liked it. I think his carries are going to start to go down. I would bet that Kareem Hunt is going to be active this week. I don't think Kareem's going to get a ton of carries, but I think that they're going to start to split them. And then look for week 5. Some people aren't going to like this, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire will be back from everything that I have seen week 5.
Okay, what was he out with? I wasn't aware of that.
He's been on the non-football or non-injury football list. I can't remember exactly what the term is, but he's not injured physically. He's had some PTSD from some event that happened to him in the past. I'm not really super educated or informed on it, but basically he was sitting out due to something that had an event that took place with him. Okay. So he had to miss the first 4 weeks. I kind of look into stuff people post on social media. He made an Instagram post that had all it had was a number 5 and a star after it. So I think he's going to be back week 5, which will make it very interesting for when Isaiah Pacheco gets back later in the year, because one of these running backs that people are starting to fall in love with, whether that's Carson Steele, whether that's Samaje Perine or Kareem Hunt, will not be on the roster later in the year. You have Isaiah Pacheco, you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you have Perine, you have Steele, and you have Kareem Hunt. That's 5. They will not carry 5 on the roster.
Perine came in last week, and he did pretty good.
He's a proven veteran. I like Perine.
Yeah, he looks like he's about 42 when the helmet flies off in the middle of the play, but he's got the...
Fun fact, he has the most rushing yards in a single college football game ever.
Yeah, well, that I think
back when he was at Oklahoma, I believe it was like 460 something.
Yeah, 464, I think.
Yeah, crazy game.
Yeah,
I am to get it back to the Chiefs overall. I'm not super worried. People are upset that they're not just going out there and blowing people out. You got to realize who their coach is. Andy Reid doesn't do that. He likes to put people in certain positions at certain times to test them, especially early in the year. I think the defense stepped up. Shout out Nick Bolton. He had a great game, great play on 4th down. I think the defense is starting to crank it up a little bit. Especially in the second half, they basically pitched a shutout in the second half of that game, and Atlanta is better than people think. Bijan Robinson, Atlanta's running back, I think he's the top 2 running back in the league. This week coming up, they're in LA playing the Chargers. They should handle them easily. Justin Herbert's probably going to be out, which really helps us. We'll be facing Tyler Heineke, which he's good. He's an above-average backup, but he is not a starting-level quarterback in the NFL. He's proven that.
He's given people some challenges. It'll
be interesting to see the first matchup of Harbaugh and Andy Reid. They're also going to be without their best defensive player. Derwin James has been suspended for 1 game. Basically, he's continually just murdering people, lowering the head, and just... Basically, he's been breaking the rules, and so the NFL decided to suspend him for 1 game. I do think this is actually a game where the Chiefs, it will not be as tight, which will be nice for Chiefs fans, just to kind of relax and not be stressed out to the last play of the game, like the first 3 have ultimately been. 8.5-point favorites as of now. How do you think the game will go, Ray?
Looks like it dropped under 7.5, but...
it's 7.5.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Derwin James is out, backup quarterback... Although he does kind of scare me. He's got a lot of experience. It's not like he's, completely out of it, but he's just never been picked to be the starter, and he's competed really well wherever he's been at. I think you're right, though.
And he's got nothing to lose. He's going to come in there and play hard.
I mean, he always plays like that. I like him a lot, but I don't think that he'll be able to, one, have enough firepower to get it done. His first game at home this season starting. The J.K. Dobbins looks pretty good. 42 carries, 310 yards, 2 TDs, but I'm going to take the Chiefs as well. I don't know about 7.5. I feel like the NFL games are just always really tight, especially up until the end of the game. But I think that the Chiefs are going to be 4-0 going into the Saints next week on Monday Night Football. They're going to take care of business against the Chargers.
The thing that's
easily.
interesting to me about this game, the over-under is 39.5. That's the third lowest of the week, which is just interesting when
They're basically saying the Chargers aren't going to be able to score the ball.
Right. Yep. Which I mean, defense looked good second half last week. I don't really anticipate the Chargers running the ball a ton on the Chiefs, to be honest. But we'll see. So, yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to cover. Personally, I think they win by 10. I think it helps us a ton that we're playing a backup quarterback. So, and I think this could be a get-right game for the Chargers. People earlier in the year saying Chargers had one of the best defenses in the league. Yeah, I mean, that's because they played Justin Fields, Bryce Young, and Gardner Minshew. So Patrick Mahomes,
They ain't played anybody.
a little bit different level offensively, and they're without their best defensive player. So,
Agreed.
quick thing I want to talk about really fast before we switch or transition to the college game. My pick for Rookie of the Year is doing his thing on the NFL side. Washington's quarterback, Daniels, baby, going into Joe Burrow's house. They didn't punt once the whole night. He had 2 incompletions. He had the same amount of incompletions as he did touchdown passes, and he looks the part. He really does. He's if people want to compare, people are always going to compare Caleb Williams and him because they went 1-2 in the draft, just like Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. And there's a trend that the quarterback who's going second seems to be, as of now anyway, has the upper hand. I'm still not completely I don't think Caleb Williams is horrible by any means. I'm not completely falling off that train. I think he's still going to be a really good pro player, but Washington's got a guy in Cliff Kingsbury, perfect pairing with him. So just wanted to shout him out really quick.
Yeah, he balled. 91% completion rating, 11 yards per throw, 2 TDs, 55 long, RTG 141.
Mm-hmm. Quarterback
he's
rating.
balling. He is balling. My guy
He
is
has
not.
80% completion percentage on the year.
Yeah,
It's kind of crazy. And he's running the heck out of the ball. He's got 3 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, he didn't have any passing touchdowns up until this last week. So looks like he figured it out.
Neither
there,
did any other rookie quarterback, though, either.
They all had 0?
Up until prior to last week. Yeah, Caleb Williams threw his first 2 last week. He also threw 2 picks. But Daniels hasn't turned the football over yet, which is...
I will say he looks comfortable.
Is rare. Yeah.
I mean, I watched him. Jada loves Joe Burrow, so...
I can't stand that.
We watched him, and he looks very calm, cool, relaxed.
Why does she like Joe Burrow?
I don't know. I think it's the swag.
He does have swag. He also doesn't have a win. So
as of lately,
she likes the bleach hair.
No, I don't think she likes that. But as of lately, last season, the previous seasons, he was a little bit more traditional. He's gotten a little bit more artistic, I want to say.
Trendy.
With the outfits and the hair.
He's hanging out with Jamar too much.
Yeah.
Jamar single-handedly might be my most disliked NFL player.
Very cocky. He
just opens his mouth.
He's got this edge now.
Yeah, he's trying to prove himself. He's a great player, but
yeah.
All right, let's start talking a little bit college football.
Horrible week for us in all of our regional teams, but hey, we were along there with you. We picked your teams, and 3 out of the 4 we failed. So
yep, we both went 1-3 on the week.
We're getting through this with you guys.
Probably should have been 0-4. Mizzou should have lost that game.
Horrible. Yeah. Every single team looked very bad. My lock of the week was a horrible pick. I'm sure just like all the K-State fans know, I didn't agree to
your lock was
K-State. Yeah, I didn't agree to the burrito thing. But that thing is that was hilarious, and that's very unfortunate for that gentleman. It looks like he's taking it in stride, though. He said it's going to be Saturday night at 9:30, if anybody's aware.
I think I'll skip that one.
Yeah, no, I won't be watching. I'll be reading the clips, though. This week, I think Mizzou's off, right?
I honestly don't know off the top of my head about Missouri.
For sure.
Let me find it.
For short, hey, Mizzou got it done. I was very surprised the field goal kicker made the field goal. Brady Cook, like I've said,
Yeah, Mizzou
this
is off.
entire time, big games. This isn't even a big game, and he can't get you a touchdown. He's going down the field, but he's getting stuck in the red zone, and they're kicking field goals, and the field goal kicker's got so many to kick.
I think a lot of this is on Drinkwitz as well, though. I don't think they were really ready to play. Maybe they thought they were just going to go in there and roll. Hey, now Vanderbilt's coach. That dude can coach. I don't even know what his name is.
Never seen him before in my life.
He's a bald guy. Looks like he's ex-military. Just tough is what he looks like. But hey.
Now Pavia was impressive, too.
Mm-hmm.
He ran the ball on
Vanderbilt's quarterback. Yep.
On long downs when
led the
he
team
had
in
nothing
rushing.
going.
17 carries, 84 yards, and then he went 14 for 23 for 178 and 2 touchdowns.
Like he
had
looks
a good game.
He looks good.
If you're a Mizzou fan, I wonder, are you starting to get a little worried about that defense? That defense was a lot better last year. You did lose some guys to the NFL draft. You lost two of your corners, both in the draft.
I mean, I'm sitting here on Saturday watching every game, and I'm cheering for this defensive line to get it done. They've got this cocky mentality like they're the best in the country, but then they're in a barn burner with Vanderbilt. They're celebrating and happy in overtime at the end of the fourth quarter. They look the part. They're huge, but they are not getting it done. Very worrisome.
Yeah.
Very worrisome.
But hey, the thing that's good about that, I think Mizzou is turning
4-0
the page as a program, is they're finding a way. Usually, or not usually, in the past they would find a way to lose these tough games, and I think as their brand grows and as you get kind of a bigger target on your back, you're going to get some of these teams that are going to come out and it's their Super Bowl, to play at Mizzou. You're playing against a top 10 team in the country who won a New Year's Six Bowl last year. I mean, Mizzou has, as much as you don't want to say it, their target is growing on their back.
We'll see how they do. They got Texas A&M this weekend, or no, not this week, the following week. So they have the schedule sets up very nicely for them. They got a week off, then to go to Texas A&M, and then they got the big one, Alabama. Again, though, not sold on Brady Cook. Doesn't matter if you win a New Year's Six Bowl. You're not playing anybody. The other team wasn't there. There was no playoff implications. That game doesn't mean as much as people want to say. It wasn't a season-changing game. And that's why Ohio State did not play their players there. Do not argue with that.
Their game on October 5th against A&M, big game for Drinkwitz and Brady Cook.
Yeah.
See if they can go into a tough environment and
be a good test.
And that'll be a big game.
At the end of the day, they're 4-0. They're the only team that we talk about regularly that can say that. So congratulations to them. Enjoy your week off.
Let's quickly talk about Kansas. Yet again, another blown fourth quarter ball game. 2-hour rain delay or lightning delay.
Did that have an effect, in your opinion?
No. They were up either 11 or 9 points with 9 minutes left. One of the two. I can't remember 100% off the top of my head. But they blew the game late. I'm almost at a loss of words for my Jayhawks. They've really disappointed me. This was the highest hopes I'd ever had for a Jayhawks football team in my life, and they've completely and utterly let me down. So this week they played TCU at Arrowhead. Somehow they are 2.5-point favorites, which is kind of wild to me. They're playing TCU, which it's not like TCU's like they were when they got their butt whooped by Georgia in the Natty or anything. But I mean, they have 2 wins. But yeah, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on Kansas. Very disappointed. We might have, I'm going to say this again, our offensive coordinator, Grimes, is doing the stupidest stuff. He keeps running trips into the boundary and then running a outside zone into the boundary, into the trips. Doesn't make sense. No space. It's literally comical that this guy is a Power 4 offensive coordinator.
Not that Jalen Daniels doesn't have any responsibility in these issues, but I agree. I've been saying it for 2 weeks now. I think it is the offensive coordinator. I think it was against West
Daniels
Virginia.
threw another pick. He didn't play horrible, but he threw another pick.
I think it. I can't remember if this was this week or last week, but do you remember when they called a handoff to the running back and Daniel just kept it and ran to the open
It
side?
was last week where he hurdled the guy.
I don't know if he hurdled him.
Everyone went right and Daniels went left.
And the running back was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
That was against West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was prior to the delay. Yeah.
So yeah,
They actually made a good play out of it, but yeah, he was the one that ran the whole wrong play.
because they're tired of running into the boundary.
Right.
So I think it speaks to what you're saying. The offensive coordinator, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense what he's running, and I don't know.
I think Daniels now leads the country for turnovers by a single player. He turned the ball. He only threw one interception, but he got strip sacked to end the game. 2 turnovers once again.
Hey, been there before.
Let's move on.
I've been there
This
before.
is depressing me. I'm tired of talking about the Jayhawks. Let's talk about your Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Yeah. Man,
Me and Ray had a long weekend, depressing weekend.
tough game. Yeah,
Hey,
especially because it was a Friday night
They had
game.
Illinois at home Friday night.
400 sellout. It was packed. I was a little bit worried about the energy. You know, when you watch at home from the game and it's your team, you're just digesting and looking at everything. You're a fan. You know, you're thinking emotionally, and I didn't feel like the energy was there. I had a source inside the stadium that said it was there, so it was a complete breakdown in the first quarter on the defensive side of the ball. We gave up basically. Might as well just let them hand it off and run it down for a touchdown because we didn't want to guard them that whole first drive. And they did some things with Dylan.
Altmaier went off.
They did some things with Dylan defensively. They were throwing 5-man fronts. They were dropping a certain amount of guys. They were showing 3. Things that he had never seen before. I will say it was very impressive. It took one drive for him to figure it out, and then he consistently had him the rest of the night until about the fourth quarter.
Until they started bringing pressure.
Right. Once they started bringing pressure, it got a little bit more difficult for him, especially as well because we weren't running the ball.
The O-line looked like they just melted.
We were having success running the ball up until the fourth quarter. I think everybody's probably going to go watch that fourth quarter and think that you're exactly right. We did start to melt. We lost our left tackle. He's our second string left tackle that we lost. So now we're on to a redshirt
done
freshman.
for like the year done, or is he just?
It's going to be a significant injury. So we had a redshirt freshman in there, and you're right. Things started to get a little bit dicey, but Dylan, I'm telling you what, he impressed the crap out of me. He was making throws.
I think
we haven't seen a throwing quarterback like this in Nebraska ever.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he. Some people are hounding on him because of how he basically the sacks that he took in overtime. I think he's going to learn from this. He's got to know just to throw it away, get rid of the ball, basically live for next down. Because when he took the first one, it took it. Did he take that first sack on second down?
Yeah, it was it was back-to-back sacks. It was third and fourth down, I think.
He took 2 sacks back to back, and I think he's going to learn from it. And I also don't think the offensive coordinator will put him in that situation again. Maybe you can roll him out, slide the offensive line with him, get him an easy throw, especially over his first college overtime game, where Illinois scored in 3 plays, right, in overtime. That was
2
pretty
plays.
quick. Yeah.
So handoff. It was a defensive breakdown.
Dylan's. I don't think this game is on. This game is not on Dylan in any way. I've still been really impressed with him. I think he's going to learn from it. His brother, and some positive news, his brother just committed. I don't know if his brother's anywhere on the same stratosphere as Dylan.
I don't think so.
4-star? I don't even know.
I don't even know what his rating is.
The lefty. He's also a quarterback. Won't be there until Dylan's junior year, though, right?
Yeah, 2026. He's a lefty. He's very smooth. But I think that he'll be able to learn by the time he gets there and be somewhat dangerous. But we've got some other guys that we're going after that are they're highly rated. So we'll see what they do.
You guys got Purdue next week.
Yeah.
This will be Dylan. This is the thing that's interesting to me about this game. I don't think Purdue's good by any means, but it is Dylan's first time on the road.
First time on the road.
In a college game.
Yeah. And Purdue, outside of Notre Dame, they showed that they had some defensive prowess the first couple weeks until they ran into Notre Dame and got absolutely slaughtered. The coach is a defensive coach, so they're going to challenge him a little bit. He's from Illinois, so they're probably going to be talking about what they did with the coaching staffs. So, yeah, it's going to be a challenge. The thing with Nebraska, the takeaway for the week. Last couple of weeks I've been talking about how Nebraska fans are down on the wide receiving core. Oh, hey, why don't we kill people? I kind of went against that. And you look at it in this Illinois game. We refuse to put our foot down on the throat and end the game and go for more points. We like to play the time of possession. We like to control the game. Well, when the calls don't go your way, when the breaks don't go your way in a close game, it's probably not going to go your way. So I kind of understand the perspective of now, like, hey, let's get out, let's get a lead. I feel like Kansas does that pretty well. When they were good last year, they were putting points on people.
Yeah, I mean, last year, yes.
So if a bad break happened or an interception happened or a turnover happened,
got to capitalize on it.
The game's not close enough to where they're still within striking distance. I think Dylan has the power to do that, and I'd like to see a rule open that up a little bit, allow that to happen, because in the Big Ten, we're going to play tight games. It's going to get cold. It's not going to be as easy to throw all the time. But if we can put points up, and I think Dylan could have on Illinois if we just would have kind of let him loose, I think we could have not blown them out, but had a comfortable lead. We should have been up 24-10 going into half. Said it was 17-10 with that interception. Should have made the field goal. A lot of things we could have done, should have done, but I would like to see that change going forward. So that's my take on Nebraska. We've got Purdue. I think we'll win. Shoot, don't take the points, just money line them. It's like 10.
They're favored by
10. So.
And then K-State, man, you guys got your tail kicked. I've been saying this about Avery Johnson. Not impressed with him throwing the ball. He's a runner. He's a track star. Not impressed with him overall, but man, I was impressed. Honestly, I was shocked by how bad they got beaten. I didn't really think BYU was that good. I still really don't think BYU is that good or will compete to win the Big 12. But 38-6, absolutely got their tail kicked. Really, I was really shocked. So,
yeah, they just started going QB run, and he must really not be able to throw the ball.
Been saying it.
And, yeah, you have. I kind of challenged it a little bit, but I wonder how, K-State fans – maybe in the comments.
Maybe it's the play calling.
Maybe it's an offensive coordinator issue. Well, it's it's not Colin Klein anymore. It's a new offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's not confident enough in the quarterback as well. How do we feel? Will Howard leaves. I feel like I heard all year this last year in the office, oh, we're going to be just fine. Avery's much better. Blah, 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 blah.
I'm curious, would you rather have Will Howard right now or would you rather have Avery Johnson?
Very
Devin Lee and Tyler Timpson. I'm looking at, if you were right here, I'd be staring
you
you guys in the eyes and asking you this question. I'm curious what you're going to say.
One fun fact, BYU has never lost a home game in their entire, going back 50 years, if the kickoff happened after sunset. They call it the vampire hours.
I did not know that.
Never lost a game. Kansas State fell victim to that.
All right, let's talk about one other college game really quick that I'm excited for this upcoming weekend. The big one, Georgia-Bama. Georgia going into Tuscaloosa. How do you think this game goes?
I'm going to take Georgia.
Wow. We're on opposite sides here, folks.
Oh, wow. We didn't even talk about this before. I'm going to take Georgia. I feel like
Georgia is the favorite, 2.5 currently. 2.5 point favorite.
I feel like, one, they have the caliber of team. I think they're going to be a little bit better from that perspective without Saban. I think Kirby is going to be a challenge for DeBoer, which maybe you disagree, but I just feel like from his perspective, he's got the team. He's had this team. They're used to him in big games. DeBoer hasn't played a big game like this with his team yet. And so they're going to be
in big games, though.
He has been, but not with these guys around him. Now, maybe they've been in the game, so they're going to have a little bit of experience on that. But are they going to question him on play calls? Because he's calling the plays for them. And are they going to question him on play calls? Is there going to be any issues there? I don't know. I think the Georgia defense is going to cause some problems for Alabama offensively. I don't think Alabama's defense is going to be able to stand up to Carson Beck and just their consistent. Maybe.
Kentucky did.
Their consistency. They've been able to pull it out. They've been in these situations with their coach, with their players together. This will be Alabama's first time facing that. Now they are at home, and Donald Trump's there.
He's going to the game?
I guess. I don't know. It's been all over
I didn't know
media.
that.
But I'm going to take Georgia.
All right. So Ray just convinced you listeners on why Georgia's going to win. Let me do the same thing on the Alabama side. Roll Tide. All right. This is the biggest game for Jalen Milroe in his college career. If you win this game, he's probably the front runner for the Heisman. His numbers, if you look at them, he's been going bonkers. He's running the ball over people. He's actually throwing the ball, which is kudos to DeBoer's offensive scheme. A lot more space. They play in a lot more space than Alabama traditionally had or has in the past. To me, the difference is I trust Alabama's offense more than I trust Georgia's offense. I'm not sold on Carson Beck. I think you could make an argument that at the skill position player, that Alabama is better on the offensive side in every single position room. It'll be interesting to me to see this coaching matchup too, because both teams are coming off a bye. They're probably going to throw some wrinkles in at each other. And I think that playing at Alabama is also an advantage for the offense of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Carson Beck's going to be out there with all the noise, not being able to communicate as well as Jalen Milroe will be able to communicate. Crowd noise is a big deal, people, especially when you're playing offense, because when you get up to the ball, you can't hear checks as well. There's probably going to be some false starts due to crowd noise. I think it's going to be a tight game. And I'm picking the Alabama Crimson Tide to upset Georgia. It'll be interesting to me to see how high Jalen Milroe's draft stock goes up if they win this game. So,
yeah,
that's obviously the biggest college football game of the week. Really quick, let's go over our locks, and then we'll get out of here for the week.
NFL.
So last week, just to let you guys know, I hit it again 2 weeks in a row. I'm 2-1 on the year for my NFL locks. I had Seattle covering 4.5 over Seattle covering 4.5 over Miami. They did that easily. Really wasn't even that close. This week, who I have as my lock, I'm kind of torn on this, to be 100% honest with you. But I have Cincinnati covering the 4-point spread at Carolina. It's currently a 4-point spread. Cincinnati's desperate. Carolina bounced back last week. They got their first win with Andy Dalton playing quarterback. I think that Cincinnati's pissed off that they've started 0-3. Still think, if you look at the statistics, Carolina's defense is worst in the league in points per game. They're 32nd. It was interesting. Cincinnati didn't punt or turn the ball over last week and still lost. So, to me, my lock of the week is Cincinnati going to Carolina and covering the 4-point spread. That's what I got.
College lock. Oklahoma on the road against Auburn. Auburn's really struggled, not been impressive at all. And Oklahoma, I hope I don't have anybody here that thinks that Oklahoma is a bad team. I think that they're a solid team. Defensively, they kind of held Tennessee to 25 points.
Lost by 10, 15, 25. I will say Jackson Arnold didn't play great. I'm a believer in Jackson Arnold.
I don't even know if he starts this week. And this is another reason why I think that I got Oklahoma.
That Hawkins kid?
-2.
You like him?
I do like him. I think he was playing a really good defense in Tennessee. He was getting a lot of pressure from their defensive line. Auburn's not going to bring that same pressure. I feel like they're a way better team than Auburn. They are going on the road, but Auburn's already struggled at home. I think Hawkins is going to get it done Take the points, -2.
This could be another
Against
Spencer
Auburn.
Rattler, Caleb Williams situation.
Jackson Arnold was bad.
Yeah, he didn't play very well at all.
And for them to pull him in the first half and essentially just
Was there any injury at all?
no, it was 3 turnovers.
2 fumbles. He
Picks.
only threw one pick.
Okay, it was pick and 2 fumbles. Yeah, it was. Pick and 2 fumbles because the Tennessee defensive line was getting after him.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkins had the same defensive line, but he can run. And so you were seeing him making plays with the legs. He's not a horrible thrower. He wasn't throwing it into pressure.
Okay.
He got him back. It was 25. What was the final score?
15-25.
He got him back with that. They were getting hammered 22-0. Did Tennessee score in the second half? Do you see that on the box score? Outside of a field goal?
6 points.
There's
3.
2 field goals.
Yeah, 2 field goals. 3
So,
in each quarter.
Oklahoma's defense, I think they're going to shut down Auburn. I don't even know why that spread is that close. Put your money on Oklahoma on the road
So we got Oklahoma covering,
against Auburn.
and then we have Cincinnati covering 4 at Carolina. Those are the locks. Thank you guys for listening to another week. Here shortly, we're probably going to have a guest or 2 on, so stay tuned for that. Thanks again. See you next week.
Like, subscribe, comment. Have a great week.